Welcome to Glitches to Gold, a weekly podcast birthed from my obsession with living a successful life. It began with chasing an Olympic dream and resulted in a 30-year obsession explored through sport, neuroscience, psychology, energetics, quantum mechanics, religion, art, and beauty. Sometimes chasing and achieving external markers, and at others experiencing the absolute opposite. Yet both taught me the same undeniable truth, and I'm here to share what I have discovered in the journey of mastering the alchemy of life, turning glitches to gold and success into overflow. If you like the podcast, share the love, like, rate, and subscribe on your favourite platform. Hey, my loves, Jo Warwick here, and firstly, let me wish you a very happy new year for the 2026, this exciting energy that's coming through. And I know that you probably had quite a challenging 2025, varying degrees. For some people, that was lots of goodbyes, lots of letting go, but I know that it was beneficial for you as it was the shedding of the snake. But we are now in 2026 and we're brewing down to the year of the fire horse in Chinese horoscope, and that really kicks in ready for February. So I'm just wanting to wish you such an incredible new year that's coming for you. Now, I do need to say sorry or not sorry, because I went completely dark over this holiday period, and I have to share with you that this has probably been the most aligned, most juicy, most satisfying, most relaxed holiday period, Christmas and New Year, that I have experienced in my life so far. And I switched off and I went dark off social media. I hadn't intended to go dark around the podcast, but as you know, there was not an episode last week, and that was the result. I actually forgot what days were days, and it was glorious. And I'm so pleased I did, because something really new and exciting is going to be coming through ready for that fire horse energy that will be kicking off in February. And I will share more about this at the end of this week's episode. Today, I want to talk about the importance of the non-doing. Now, this can seem counterintuitive when you're talking about business and making money. We're so driven as a society to believe that the only way to create money, have more money, is that we have to work, push, do. And I can fall into that too until I get reminded. And it goes against manifesting. The manifesting needs you to work in harmony with the universe. So it's just like riding a wave. As a surfer, I can tell you that you have to ride the wave by waiting for the wave to come up behind you, and just before it, as it's coming, you start to paddle so that you meet it, and then you ride the wave. So you hit the wave, it meets you, you meet it, you paddle a little bit more to get up, and then you're riding the wave. You're looking to work with the energy, not trying to make it happen all by yourself. Now, we can fall into a pattern of push, shove, where we're actually trying to almost create a wave that isn't there. So it's going to take so much energy, and you will find yourself getting tired and exhausted and burnt out, and that just doesn't work. And you're going to get very little results, and the results that you might get won't be sustainable. They may be limited in the amount of energy or limited in the amount of money. You're not going to get the manifesting of the results you want. And the whole point of this podcast is talking about and helping you to understand working with the universe so that you are reducing the amount of energy that you're putting out and increasing the results that you're getting. And that is whether that's in your business, in your career, in your money, in many different ways, but it is reducing the amount of energy so that you're using your investment of energy and time correctly and increasing the results that you're getting in relation to that. So you're getting a high return on your investment of energy. Now, I talked about that in a previous podcast. Now, I'm actually recording this from my bed. I am taking the time to just sit and be, because out of an old program, I also fell into a bit of the do a bit too much. Plus, I've been having a lot of fun and playing too. So we just got to be aware that when we start to use our own resources, our own battery of energy, we can get worn out like a battery. It's so important to take and listen to our bodies as we take time to go through transitions that happen both seasonally in our lives, things that are transforming. When we're transitioning to a new frequency, we're upgrading to having a new amount of money or resources or opportunities. That transition takes quite a lot of energy too. You're changing, you're releasing, you're upgrading. Just having a bit more awareness, a bit more leaning back, that it becomes hard work and you don't want to be doing that. It's the lean back into the universe, trusting, and then leaning into inspired action. Now, this is very important if you heard that again. So, it's learning to lean back into the universe so that you're softening, relaxing, receiving, which is much more of the feminine, and leaning into inspired action, which is the masculine energy, so that you're feeling this sense of, like riding a wave, you're leaning back into being in the wave so that you're carried by the wave. But when you ride the board, you must lean into where you're going so that the board is going forward. So you've got momentum. So you're trusting the wave and flowing downhill. And so you've got this momentum. And that's what you want to be doing in life. That's what you want to be doing to manifest in your business. That's what you want to be doing to manifest more money. Following inspired action. Now, even though I have been in bed all day, I've actually been creating a whole new program, which didn't even exist this morning. And because I chilled out, because I rested, because I meditated, because I listened to my body, I suddenly felt an inspiration. And it's not something I've created, as in I've had to write a whole new program or a whole new load of stuff. I was inspired to look at the massive amount of content and meditations and programs and healings and things that I've already created over the years to bring something together as a collection for what is ready now. And that's because the universe has been guiding me to say, this is what is needed by the collective. Yeah, that's often how I work, that something needs to be birthed for the collective. So that's an example. So nearly everything is nearly done for it to be launched. Everything in one day. But it hasn't felt hard work. I haven't got out of bed. I've hardly used any energy. I've been pulling things together. It's been very easy because I've been in a groove. And now I'm coming to the end of my day. I'm coming to the end. I feel like I'm resting and I'm reflecting. I'm actually using this podcast as a way of almost kind of reflecting today. So I'm sharing with you a bit of my process in my business in different areas when I'm running things like my products and programs, etc. But also the honesty that, we're all human and however good you are at manifesting and understanding the universe, you're still going to fall off and you're still going to make mistakes and you're still going to go too far. And I'm still practicing and still learning, and that's okay. That's okay. And it's how quickly, if we fall out of alignment and we go too much and we push too hard and we do too much, how quickly can we come back into balance and find ourselves in that sense of being on, like a surfer on the wave, and going, no, I have to wait for the wave. I have to have patience. Now, part of the biggest thing you learn as a surfer is that the waves come in sets. And I have actually got on my website a fantastic post on there called The 5 Waves of Manifesting. And manifesting with the universe is exactly the same. The energy works in the same way as it does when you're a surfer, and recognizing that waves come in sets. They don't just continuously wave, 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 wave. And also they come in different sizes and they build momentum. So they don't start off as a hey, out of nowhere, there's just suddenly a whopping great wave. It will be a size of a wave that gets bigger, that gets bigger, that gets bigger, then smaller. You're going to get this collection that builds momentum into a height and then it eases off. And that's exactly the same that happens with manifesting in different areas of your life. So understanding that there's this space often in the lull where you have to have patience and you have to have faith and you have to have trust that when you're on a board in the sea, you know that the waves are going to come if it's a wavy day. Some days it's just flat and there's nothing you can do about it. That really is a lull and you just have to chill out and not get in the water or just go for a swim. But having that relaxation and that trust and enjoying where you are and being present and knowing that the waves will start to come again. And those waves are always those little signs that start to say, it's coming in. It's coming in. There's more coming in. Things are happening. Things are happening. And you're going to have that in your business. That's just the same. You're going to have it with clients. You're going to have it in your business. You're going to have it in your love life. You're going to have it in every single area. That some days it's much more intense, the amount you're manifesting. Whereas other days it's calmer and quieter. And then there are these sort of lull periods where it is happening without you seeing. It's like it's happening under the ground
as you would when you look in winter and what's going on with the plants and the trees. It's all happening without you being able to see it, but it is happening. And it's at those moments where you can get often triggered, but it's at those moments when it comes down to faith. It comes down to faith and patience and belief that the waves will come, that it is happening and it is on your side, and the universe has got your back. And it is those moments that often you have to tend to triggers and blocks of old trauma and emotional energy that's been coming up in your body that says, oh, I can't, I have to keep doing because I can't trust that somebody else is doing it. I can't trust that the universe is going to show up for me. I can't trust that anything is on my side. It's those moments when you realize that you are not leaning back and listening with patience and faith and belief, and that you're not able to do just your part and not absolutely everything else. Because when we have some blocks around that, when we have trust issues, when we have faith issues, when we have a disbelief around stuff, we try to do absolutely every part of the process. And that is not manifesting. And that's also like being in a relationship with somebody else where you realize, you're not really in a relationship with another person. You're just in a relationship with yourself, and wondering why the other person is not showing up for you, not doing their part, because you're filling all the space. You're taking up too much space. You're not allowing space for the other person. And in the case of manifesting in any area of your life, you might not be allowing space for the universe to do its part, for it to show up, for love to show up, for other people to fill it in, for things to come together. So these are techniques and awarenesses of manifesting. But today, we're just thinking about the lean back. We're thinking about creating that space. We're thinking about allowing more compassion, more gentleness, more peace, more enjoyment. You can distract yourself and go and do fun things. I'm off to the theatre tomorrow, which will be very nice. Hence why I also particularly want to feel really good, because I'm off to go and watch a very good show, which I've been looking forward to. So, what I'm trying to say, listening to the process and being aware of yourself and your own personal balance. I hope that you will lean back into the universe and lean into your inspired action so that you are minimalizing the amount of effort you are putting out and increasing the amount of returns and manifestations you are getting.
Today's episode was actually taken from a previous podcast that I had, and these are going to be essential skills for 2026. Now, as I said at the beginning of this podcast, I have an incredible opportunity that's going to be kicking off in February, and it's very much in alignment with when to lean into your edges. This opportunity is called Braver, and understanding that being brave comes from those small incremental shifts that you could be 5% braver or 10% braver, 15% braver. It's not always about taking big leaps. It's about taking braver steps every single day and leaning into your edges and knowing when to lean back and relax and let it unfold. So I'm really excited to be able to say that there is a waiting list opening up. You can head on over to Glitches to Gold to find out just a little bit more about a 14-day challenge aligned perfectly with this fire horse energy that's coming in for 2026. So this is going to give you a chance to be braver and bolder for yourself through 2026. It's New Year's Day here, and I went to cold water swimming. Now, I have to tell you that this morning I had an amazing group of people started cheering me and celebrating me that I was going into the water. It's so much easier to be braver when you're part of a collective who is got your back, supporting you. The words, "You are so brave," is something I literally have heard almost every single day of my life. But I resisted it for a long time because I thought, oh, I don't want to be celebrated for being brave, for enduring pain and difficulty and challenges. But what I realise now is the difference is that I'm celebrated all the time for the fact that I lean into being brave, being bold. I look for the edges to expand because I have learned over my life, not just through being professional sportswomen and taking big risks in sport, but in every aspect of my life, I look to leaning into where the fear is and moving beyond, because I have learnt that success is always the outcome of the other side of that discomfort and the getting out of my comfort zone. That's what it is. It's about putting yourself out there. So I'm opening up this wonderful challenge for you to join. It doesn't matter whether you're male, you're female, I don't care where you are on your journey. We can all be braver, and the results and the success comes from that, and you build momentum and massive results when you're just a bit braver. If this is speaking to you and you want to join, just head on over to Glitches to Gold and you can sign up there for the waiting list to be the first people to access this opportunity. As ever, I just want to remind you that please like, share, rate, subscribe, share this podcast with anyone you know who you think actually this will change their life, impact them. This is my love language. Let's share the love. Have a great day.